I've never been close to #1 as I am now.
He is so close now. He won the Australian so far this year and the US Open last year. He goes up against a man in the semi-final that he's beaten the last 7 times. But Boris Becker doesn't buy the idea it'll be 8 straight.
Hopefully things are going to be different.
Number 3 takes on number 2 at the Newsweek.
ESPN Tennis Prime Time. The semifinals of the Newsweek Champions Cup. Next on ESPN.
From the beautiful Hyatt Grand Champions, this is the Newsweek Champions Cup, the second semi-final of the day today, to see who takes on Pete Sampras in the championship match tomorrow. Andre Agassi and Boris Becker will battle it out in the semi-final, best of 3 sets.
The stadium call, the #2 player in the world and the #3 ranked player in the world. A nice big Indian Wells welcome for Andre Agassi and Boris Becker.
There's an expectant rumble in this sold-out stadium. 11,500 people here. Make no mistake about it. California is tennis country, and this is the biggest and best of the West by far. It's a dream semi-final match, heading to a possible showdown tomorrow between the 2 top players in the world. But that depends on this man, Andre Agassi, as he takes on the #3 player in the world from Germany, Boris Becker. Earlier today, Pete Sampras over Stefan Edberg. Sampras lost the first set. He won the second set. He got an early break in the third set. Edberg came back, but Sampras broke it 4 games all. He has match point. Edberg jumps the net, but it is Sampras the winner, 6-4 in the third. So the top player in the world waits for the outcome of this semi-final match. Pete Sampras over Todd Martin yesterday, over Edberg today. Edberg in a close one over Thomas Muster. Becker beat Larson yesterday. Agassi over Ferreira. Now it's the 2 of them in the semis today. Warm greetings, everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale alongside Fred Stolle. Fred, it seems like just a year ago Andre Agassi was coming off wrist surgery, rather delicate wrist surgery in fact. Turned out to be okay though. He was nowhere near the top of the world rankings. Boy, how things have changed.
Pretty close to it now, Cliff, isn't he? Certainly the hottest player on the tour at the moment, with an 18-1 record coming here. The only time he's lost was against Enquist in Philadelphia, won the Australian, won San Jose. So he took care of Enquist here. So he's now pushing at #2. And if you go back there, #2 at the moment, currently at the end of the year, he was #2. If you go back to 93, the end of 93 was at 24, then 31, and then started the resurgence in July of 94 when he was at #20 and coming into the US Open. But he's going to rely on the big returner serve. He's got the best returner serve in the business. He sees the ball so early, and this is going to be a big problem for Becker, because if Becker misses a lot of first serves, Cliff, I think he's going to be looking at a lot of tough volleys from Agassi.
Fred, we have been talking about the Agassi-Sampras race for #1, but Becker was saying before the Australian this year, and he didn't play well there, but before that he was saying, don't count me out in this race.
Well, he lost to Patrick McEnroe in the first round. Since then, he's reached the semi-finals of 4 tournaments, and he's won at Marseille, and he's here with a vengeance. Hasn't been here for quite a while. This is his 4th straight semi-final, and he won the title. He relies on that big, heavy first serve, Boris Becker, and he's looking for better performance. Hasn't been here since 1990. The big thing, I don't think Becker can stay back and rally like this from the baseline against Agassi. He's pretty stubborn in that department. He's got to move in just like he's doing here and try and take the net away. He's got to be a little patient in order to do that, because you've got to wait for the right ball from Agassi. But if he stays back there and tries to out-hit Agassi, there's nobody out there at the moment. Maybe Pete Sampras, but nobody else can out-hit Agassi from the base.
Any which way you look at it, it's going to be a great match. If you're promoter of this event, you've just got to be ecstatic. Good for tennis, isn't it? For more on it, down to Mary Carrillo.
Thanks a lot, Cliff. I'm here with Brad Gilbert, Andre Agassi's coach. Even before Andre had you in his corner, he owned Becker. Why does he own him so much?
Well, I think he matches up well against him. One thing he does really well is he gets Boris to serve and play a lot and makes Boris have to work so hard on his service game, and then all of a sudden he gets a little frustrated on his own on his return game.
I mean, Boris, he obviously can't stay on the baseline with Agassi, and then when he tries to go for bigger serves, his service percentage goes down. Is that pretty much how you see this thing going?
Well, I think the last few times they played, Boris has tended to stay back a lot. You know, he stayed back a lot to keep his game. I look for Boris to be a lot more aggressive today, come in on a lot of returns, and I look for him to serve and volley a lot more than he has the last few matches against Andre.
All right, that's what we'll be watching for, Cliff. Back to you.
Thanks a lot. Final stages of the warm-up. We'll be back with the start of the semi-final match here at the Newsweek after a break.
ESPN Tennis Prime Time. The semifinals of the Newsweek Champions Cup. Next on ESPN.
Our coverage of today's semi-final men's singles match brought to you by IBM, Solutions for a Small Planet. And by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. Oh boy, there is a lot of anticipation here for this showdown between the number 2 and 3 players in the world, and waiting in the wings is the number 1 player in the world, Fred.
And it's going to be tough for these boys to match up to that first semi-final. It was just tremendous tennis between Edinburgh and Sampras. Went right down to the wire, breaking the third set for Sampras, and then he lost it. Fantastic finish to it. But this one here is a great confrontation. You know that Agassi likes to play Becker. He gets up for Becker, and the problem that Becker has, the big problem that he has here today with Agassi, is that Agassi on return games won, he leads the pack. He's won 58%. So that just means that he's by far and away the best returner that is competed here this week, and those percentages live up to it. And then again on second serve points won, this is where Becker is good on the returner serve, but on second serve points won, Agassi leads the field again. He's won 62% of his second serves. So I don't know what Boris Becker's got to get a lot of first serves in here today. Time will tell.
Remarkable stats, aren't they, Fred? Here's the first point of the match.
On the other side of the coin, though, Cliff, if Becker gets that first serve in, he's only lost the point when he's got that first serve in. He's only lost 14 points in the tournament when he gets the first serve in, but a nervous start, double fault.
Boris Becker, born in Leimen, Germany. He's the number 3 ranked player in the world. He has been number 1. In fact, 3 of the 4 semi-finalists here have been number 1. Over 15 million, as you can see, in prize money. He's 27 years old now, and he's got a place in Munich and Monte Carlo. 15 all. So we've got 3 number 1s, 2 of them former number 1s, and Sampras the present number 1, and 1 number 2, Agassi. He's trying to become number 1, and he will.
Good solid return there again. A good solid serve and a high reply from Agassi. There you can see the ranking that and the career earnings.
Good points, hasn't he, after that double fault, and here again points for Becker.
Well, this is exactly what we just said a few moments ago. When that first serve goes in, he's lost very few points, but if he misses it on the second serve, he is in danger.
Sampras is in no danger of losing his number 1 ranking, but that's only true for a couple of more weeks now since he got here to this final. Agassi is breathing right down his neck. Becker holds on the first game. Best of 3 set semi-final match. The winner will play Sampras tomorrow here at the Newsweek.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. They have a very interesting history, these two. They first played right here at Indian Wells in 1988. Becker won that one. In fact, he won the first 3 matches that they played against each other, including an unbelievable match when Germany played the USA in the semifinals of the Davis Cup in '89. But the last 7 times have all been won by Agassi, including last year's Lipton tournament played on a very similar court. Now let's go down to Mary Carilla. She's sitting with none other than Nick Bollettieri. Mary.
Nick, a better start for Boris than he had at the Lipton. What is it like for you? I mean, you spent years teaching Andre Agassi how to beat Becker. Now you're trying to undo that and teach Boris how to beat Andre. What do you tell him?
I think when you have a person like Boris, you don't say too much. I think it comes from within him. He's competed well. Andre's always done well against Boris, and I think at this particular time, Boris will have to mix it up and not let Andre get into a groove and to have fun out there, because they're both top players. And I think the name of the game today is not to let Andre run away with the match.
Right.
Stay on top of the
do you want Boris to be at the net a lot more than he was at the Lipton?
I think what Boris has got to do today is to come forward and don't stay back. There's not a player in the world that could beat Andre Agassi from the base line. But he can't charge everything. He's got to come in the majority of the times and mix him up, but he's got to serve. That's key.
All right, Game Agassi, we're all leaving. Thanks a lot, Nick. Back upstairs, guys.
1 game off first set. Agassi is seeded number 2 in this tournament. He's only lost 1 match all year, and that was to Magnus Larsson in Philadelphia.
Thomas Enquist.
Excuse me, to Thomas Enquist in Philadelphia. So 18-1 for the year. Destroyed Wayne Ferreira last night.
He got even with Thomas Enquist here, took him out in straight sets in a night match. But you're going to hear a lot more from Enquist also. Good young Swede.
Enquist was unseeded here. He took out Peter Korda, and then Agassi blitzed him. Becker clipped the line, but Agassi still got the passing shot. And it's 15 all. Here's a look at how Agassi got there over Mats Wilander easily. I mean, he has not had to touch sides. Look at this, Enquist and Ferreira. In fact, 65 minutes is about as long as he's had to play. Becker, Fred, has had a tougher road to this semi-final match.
He's been pretty confident, though. He's only lost 1 set, and that was against Magnus Larsson last night. 6-3 the first set to Larsson. Larsson very deceptive on the serve, but Becker came back with a vengeance and played some good tennis towards the end of that match as well.
30-15.
He has had a better start, Becker, to the year. I think he's more involved in what he's doing. He's got a little bit of ambition back again from winning Wimbledon when you're 17 the first time. Shot as you've got to see on the run under pressure, because the return again is a good one, but so is the volley. This first volley from Becker from off his shoelaces is a good volley. Gets away, and look at that on the run. He hooks that ball from behind him and has the control to get it over. Not a lot of topspin, just to get it over Becker's head. Didn't really have time to play topspin on that. He had to hook it from way behind him.
It was sort of a defensive lob that he turned into an aggressive shot. 30 all. doesn't mess about on the return.
No, I was just thinking the same thing. I don't think he can afford to just really crack those all the time. He's got to play it a little bit of percentage tennis there, where he's good solid return and then hits the passing shot, or he rips returns. But he can't go out there and just thinking, hey, every time I get a second serve, I'm going to hit it 120 miles an hour. I don't think that's in the tactics.
Becker holds on 2 games to 1, no breaks. This is the first set of a best-of-3 set semi-final. The winner to play Pete Sampras.
The Los Angeles Times Fund is proud to work with the Newsweek Champions Cup to help young people realize their potential to become the leaders of tomorrow. And the Newsweek Champions Cup is a proud partner of the IBM ATP Tour, the official men's tennis tour featuring the best tournaments and the best players around the world.
Yep.
The IBM ATP Tour, nothing but the best.
He serves. Yep.
Boris Becker leading 2 games to 1 here against Andre Agassi. Take a look at Andre's statistics.
These are Agassi stats for the tournament this week. 63% first serves. Winners, he's at 53. Unforced errors, 46. So whenever that happens, you know he's playing some pretty good tennis. He's not lost a set in the tournament. He's only given up just 13 games.
And when you remember about what you already said, Fred, and that is he's broken more times than servers against him have held their serve. That's really something.
Thank you. Ready for play.
And just a packed stadium here, not a ticket. There's just a total sellout for today's semi-finals. It's been a dream card with Sampras against Edberg and now Agassi against Becker. Andre Agassi's strengths and weaknesses. Well, it's tough to find weaknesses with the man that's playing this well at the moment. Return of serve is definitely his strength, and the ground strokes from the baseline. I put in the volleys there as a weakness. Come in that many times because the way he plays from the baseline like this, we talked about his ground strokes, passing shots. Look how he lets this one rip. Becker was standing in the middle of the court, not knowing which way Agassi was going to go.
He's in no hurry to get to the net anyway, Fred, is he? 30 low. Approach shot is long. Bollettieri said that Becker's going to have to try to get in, but he doesn't want to try to get in too soon.
Shouldn't rush it.
And also, if he comes in and anything behind a great approach shot, he's in trouble, Fred, isn't he?
He still has to go in, though.
Easy ball for Agassi, and it is 2 games all first set.
Boris Becker's stats for the week: serve 23 aces, first serve percentages not bad, 57%. Now he's playing good tennis also. Look at that, 85 winners and 53 unforced errors. So you know this is going to be a battle. Serve's been broken only twice in the event.
Mary Carrillo has joined us up here in the booth, and a pretty good assessment, I think, from Nick Bollettieri. Mary.
Becker's strengths and weaknesses. We talked about that first serve that he always relies on, and it's been very good to him here. And the backhand return of serve, that blistering backhand return that he muscles, and the occasional low volleys. And I put in stubborn tactics there for times that he stays back and wants to beat Agassi from the baseline. His coach, Nick Bollettieri, said it well. He said, hey, nobody can stay back with Agassi these days and win from the baseline, so Becker has to take his time, a little bit of time to work his way in there. But, of course, in order to do that, he's got to get a half-court ball to get into the net. Because if he goes in on an approach shot from three-quarter court or around the baseline, that's just too much time for Agassi.
15 all.
D. 101 mile an hour second serve. That's not too bad. The motion on this serve is something that we've talked about over the years. He gets terrific shoulder turn. Look at that. His back is facing the net. Great knee bend. Keeps the head up. Then makes contact. Look, the head's still up there watching the ball. And then those first 2 or 3 steps before he moves into that net volleying position.
30-15. Served well so far. And as you pointed out, that's going to be a key for Becker.
Hasn't really gone for the big heater yet, Cliff, either. They're all been around 108, 110 miles an hour, 101 mile an hour second serve for an ace.
He got 131 mile an hour first serve last night. That's the fastest of the week of any player. That one sails long and Becker holds on. Battle of the Giants here. Number 2 versus number 3. It's Agassi and Becker. It's 3-2 first set. We're at the Newsweek Champions Cup.
Did you get any on you? No. No, it wouldn't be gone yet. No, it wouldn't be. No, that's like a bad onion.
Yeah.
Yep. Got it.
Welcome back to the Newsweek Champions Cup, ESPN Tennis Prime Time.
It's 3-2, Becker in the first set. More prime time action tomorrow night here on ESPN. Our coverage of the Newsweek Champions Cup continues. Agassi or Becker will take on Pete Sampras. The battle for number 1 intensifies tomorrow night. And prime time, that's 9 Eastern here on ESPN. Agassi to serve, no breaks yet. 2-3.
Haven't wasted much time either. Agassi has yet to lose a point on serve.
Yet to miss a first serve. He's 9 for 9 now.
No break points for either player.
Pretty good play, that one from Becker, the little short one to the two-hander. It makes Agassi hurry forward and he has to be pretty quick if he wants to keep the 2 hands on it. Otherwise, he's forced to play a single-handed shot. But that's the first one. Agassi, if he plays a couple more of those, we'll be waiting on that.
30-15.
Agassi's the holder of 2 Grand Slam titles. He won the Australian earlier this year. He won the US Open the end of last year.
You don't count Wimbledon?
Not the holder of Wimbledon.
Ah.
He has won Wimbledon.
He sure had a couple of years ago. It's interesting that the 4 semifinalists here, all 4 of them have won every Grand Slam title except the upcoming French Open. I gotta think that this guy serving has the best chance of doing that.
It's the only one, in fact, that he has not won.
That's the one that he felt he'd have won first. He has been in a couple of finals there.
Becker's first Grand Slam win was in 1985 when he was 17 years old, youngest ever to win Wimbledon. He has subsequently won that tournament 3 times. And he also has, of course, won the Australian and the US. And as you mentioned, Mary's never won the French. Semi-finalist there, but he's never won it. 3 games all first set.
Not going to be as many rallies in this particular match as the first semi-final with Edberg and Sampras, because Sampras mixes it up against Edberg, and Edberg the same with Sampras. Both play pretty much serve and volley tennis.
Agassi really made his move at the end of last year. He won 2 Super 9 events, the Canadian Open, and he won the Paris Indoor as well. They were both Super 9s. Won the US Open, a couple of other events as well. 5 in all last year. Has a couple under his belt already this year.
That's a good play from Becker there. He's been working on that right from the start of the match. He's missed a couple of slice backhands, and now he's starting to find the range with it. But the reason this is a good shot is because he plays the slice here into the forehand side. Now, most of the time, Agassi's looking to get over and run round his two-handed backhand to hit a forehand. So it gives him a little more room to move, and he has to cover that shot down the line. The anticipation, most two-handed players like to run around the two-hander and hit that off forehand.
Becker holds on. He has not had much trouble holding yet, has he? On serve, 4-3.
Adidas welcomes you to the Newsweek Champions Cup. Discover the next generation of the Adidas tennis heritage in the Adidas retail tent. And Orpheus Crystal is proud to provide the awards of the Newsweek Champions Cup. Visit our booth at the Tournament Village. We will be pleased to show you the awards being used for this week's tournament and to extend an offer to purchase a gift of Orpheus especially engraved for the event. We wish the best to all players in their quest for excellence.
A 6-day total here at the Newsweek Champions Cup of over 103,000 spectators, and there's today and tomorrow to go. Becker leading 4-3. He's been very consistent over the years. Becker stayed in the top 10 consistently throughout his career. As you can see, he was out in 93. And he was number 1 for 12 weeks in 91. He really made his move at the same time last year, getting back up to number 3 at the end of the year, about the same time that Agassi did. The US summer circuit was very good to Becker. He won in Los Angeles last year, and then at New Haven at the Volvo, and then was disappointed by losing in the first round of the US Open, but he went on to win Stockholm.
That was to Richie Renneberg.
Renneberg at the Open. We won Stockholm over the top 3 players in the world at the time: Sampras, Ivanisevic, and Michael Stich.
Yeah. There's that little short backhand that we talked about last game, and on that occasion, Agassi was forced to come to the net, and he has to take that second hand off the racket. He has to play this. This is good tactics from Becker as long as he keeps it low, and then he lets the passing shot. Look how knee bend, and then from low to high, cross court. There's the one-handed approach from Agassi.
It's only the second point Agassi has lost on serve.
They have their fans up here, and this is a good lob to get back into the point. You see, Becker, when you throw up a good defensive lob, you get back into the center of the court. Agassi, look where he is now, near the baseline. He really hammers this overhead. That's a great shot for a winner.
Agassi continues to bend that ball in the court time and again on first serve. His percentage is still very, very high, very healthy. And Becker, that is extremely impressive for Becker because he goes for a much bigger serve. And Becker, against the best returner in the game, in 4 games of serving, has lost only 4 points.
There's not been a lot of points scored against the serve.
Game point. Agassi holds on. It is very nice to see Becker playing so well. And Agassi, that goes without saying. They're both playing well. In fact, Agassi was asked about his record against Becker, and he says he's playing good and I'm playing real good, so it's going to be a great match like it always is between the two of us. I've definitely got the better end of him on the head-to-head, but that's behind us. I know that, and he knows that. And
we all know that.
4 games all.
It's always very nice to know that you've won this last 7 matches against the guy you're going to play in a semi-final. 1 of 3 players to beat Becker 7 or more times. The other 2 names there, Edberg and Lendl. It's over a period of 10 years since Becker came onto the scene in '85 and won Wimbledon.
That's the thing. I mean, Edberg and Lendl really got to play Becker a lot.
A lot more.
Lendl now retired.
Agassi has not been able to get on the serve as easily as I thought he was going to be able to.
Well, at first serve, he's got pretty good percentage of first serves in, and we mentioned right at the start, he's only lost 14 points in the entire week when he's got a first serve in the court, Becker, so it means he's moving well to follow up on the volley. Takes you a while to get a good look at a serve that's coming at you at 120 mile an hour. Agassi's starting to there. Short reply, backswing, and then a good return. It sets up the passing shot. Becker looking for the one down the line and finds a little angle cross court, does Agassi.
You can see how he moved before Agassi hit the ball. That cost him. 30-15 Becker.
It's a good move from Becker there. He was inside that service line there before he made that backhand volley. Round about waist high. If he gets down around his shoelaces, it becomes a more defensive and a more difficult shot to play. Look at that, way inside that service line. Good moving. Becker's head. He's tried a couple of them and has just been killed with it, but over the years this is a shot that Agassi does use effectively against Boris Becker, and they're the first, that's the first occasion that he's been able to get them up there, so Becker hasn't been able to smash him away for a winner. Look for more of that as this match progresses.
Ball good. Becker wants it.
That was out. Becker's right. He's appealing to Daniel Conte.
everybody along the sideline there are all signaling that out along the baseline, the fans on both sides of the court.
It was 126 miles an hour, and look, Agassi really had to, Agassi was off balance trying to spit that one back. Yeah, that was out. May not matter. Becker still got game point, but who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll know in a minute. And then there's the aggravation factor of knowing you got a bad call. Reaction from Becker.
This is a terrific passing shot from Agassi, and again the best returner in the business gets that one down low. Agassi gets the forehand cross court. Becker looking for it down the line, so that bad call now looms in Becker's mind because he knows that he should be sitting down the chair at the changeover.
Another lob, it's good!
As I said, look for that lob. He's been trying it 3 or 4 times. Becker just abused that lines judge that made the bad call at 40-15. Agassi has played this one over in his career against Becker. Becker closes in very close to the net to make that volley. Flips this one up again. He's now found the range with that. Now look at Boris Becker now yelling at that lines judge because he feels he's been...
He thought he was hooked on that call.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. Afraid that might happen, and here's
First
a break point
of the match. Another lob.
And it is good. That gave him a call. It really was a poor call. Agassi leads 5-4 and he'll serve. But break time.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we will following the second Matchform International because of a special challenge match featuring tennis greats Alex Oviedo and Jaime Pito. So teamed together with two lucky Balkans. Be sure to stick around to watch as these players compete in a hard challenge.
They changed the lines.
Welcome back to the Grand Champions, the High Grand Champions at Indian Wells, California, as we continue our coverage of the Newsweek Champions Cup in prime time. Take a look at Becker here as he gets lobbed yet again by Agassi. That gives Agassi the game and the break. And Agassi is now serving, leading 5-4 in the first set.
After Becker got hooked on that call, Agassi, to Agassi's credit, I mean, won 3 points on 3 winners. Now he gets a serve for it.
Becker for going up. That's the man that made the bad call. And folks, it was a bad call. They put the lady that was calling the net, she went back to the baseline. And Becker saw the change. They try and do that subtly on the changeovers, but it's pretty tough to do it in front of 13,000 people.
That is a good play. That's a great play from Becker. He continues to do that. He wants to draw in Agassi on Becker's terms, and that little slice he's shipping off to force a one-handed backhand from Agassi has paid dividends.
Agassi's got to get there very early to make any impression if he wants to flick it across and make the acute angle on that two-hander. Becker standing in mid-court waiting for it.
15-30, heads up, big point coming up here. That was a love 30 point, and Becker did not make Agassi play after the serve. Agassi is serving for the set.
That's two pretty wild forehands, one off the return of serve, trying to increase the velocity off Agassi's serve, and then that one just going for too much too soon. That's what Bollettieri actually said to Mary. He's got to be patient back there to make that work, not go for something too quick. 8 errors, unforced errors for Becker, 2 for Agassi.
And now it's set point for Agassi.
3 unforced errors in a row from Boris Becker. Tremendous backhand return, very, very deep.
Backhand again, only this one got too deep, but he played a smart shot halfway through it. See, Agassi's up around that service line there. That was not a good drop shot, or it was short, trying to get him in there, but it didn't have any pace on it. It allowed Agassi to get in there behind a good solid approach shot and put away the volley, the overhead.
Set point number 2.
Oh!
Becker thinks that was long. Conte in the chair, but no, we couldn't tell on that second serve, or that serve. Agassi broke Becker and holds on to win the first set 6-4. By the way, we were talking about their head-to-head and the fact that Agassi has beaten Becker the last 7 times they've played. Well, Boris points out yesterday that this is the first time that they've played with Agassi ranked higher than him on the computer.
But does that change anything?
No.
Oh.
Maybe it does in his mind,
yeah,
because he said it.
Well, he was very quietly, but very much looking forward to this match, Becker. He liked his chances. He wanted to go in against Agassi. He thinks he's playing well enough to do it today.
Well, they haven't played that much, Mary, over the last few years. They played at the Lipton last year. But
and
prior to that, it was 6-2, 7-5. But the prior match to that was at Wimbledon in 1992. So that's just once in the last 2.5 years. So they haven't played a lot.
Remember, Becker felt so hapless in his 3rd round match against Agassi at last year's Lipton that at a certain point, he handed his racket to a ball kid. And boy, Stephanie Flaherty became famous around the world for a couple of days because she played played a point against Agassi and beat him.
There's that lob we're talking about.
That has really been a good play for Agassi today. He started out from the beginning trying to use the shot. Fred, and here goes another one.
It took him about 2 or 3 games to get the range with it, and from that time on, he has not missed one.
But even if he does miss it, it keeps Becker honest about closing in too tight. Love 30.
Agassi just loves this matchup. It's just as his coach, Brad Gilbert, says. I mean, everything that Becker does, Agassi likes responding to and reacting to. Not a bad serve, 106 miles an hour. And he just dismisses it, Agassi, to set up a couple of break points to break open the second set right away.
Another lob. Oh,
just long.
You start closing a lot less quickly to the net if you know you're lobbable. And that's just what Agassi wants to create in Becker's mind, the idea that he can't rush into the net and charge it. Of course, that would make Becker's volleys tougher from a deeper position. 2 break points left.
There's the second ace for Becker.
This would be a good game for Becker to climb out of, being down 3 break points, because I'm sure he's still thinking about that call that he had after losing that first set. He's got to put all those thoughts out of his mind to try and get back into this match.
30-40. 3 in a row for Becker, and it's deuce. He's serving from the bad side for the right-hander. Not exactly going to affect his ball toss, but the sun is in his eyes when he throws it up.
If he were to lose this game mentally, he'd be shot. He's come back with a vengeance from being down love 40. Served 2 aces.
Yet. We're in the second set. 1 game to none. Becker. Agassi won the first.
Parents of Johanna Alex, please report to the tennis administration building, and that is located next to the east side entrance. The parents of Johanna Alex, please report to the tennis administration building. Your little girl is lost, and she's waiting for you there.
Welcome back to the Newsweek Champions Cup, ESPN Tennis Prime Time.
First game to Becker in the first game of the second set. Agassi won the first 6 games to 4. Inside the midst of college basketball's March Madness, ESPN's award-winning series Outside the Lines goes behind the scenes for an in-depth look at the college game, both from on and off the court. Tune in for It's a Mad Game. That's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 o'clock here on the West Coast on ESPN.
Great numbers from Andre Agassi, serving great, barely losing points, and very, very few unforced errors. Some glorious winners, including some tremendous lobbing.
Well, that's the thing that's really got him back into this, has been the lobs. Talked about the return of serve, how good that's been. He's leading in that department throughout the week. And then you throw in those lobs to push Becker away from the net to make him think a little bit more about it. Agassi, who's asked what's the best thing that's happened to him since he's been with Brad Gilbert. He said, well, my rankings got better.
You know, he used to talk a lot about focus, didn't he? But
yeah,
he really is focused now, and I think that Brad Gilbert has done that for him to a large extent.
Yeah, I think there's a few years as Agassi goes to change a racket or to put something away, that little elastic band that he puts around there. But I think 3 or 4 years ago, you might have questioned Agassi's desire and commitment to the sport. No longer now that he's with Gilbert. Gilbert said, well, it took 2 or 3 months, and we talked about a lot of things and how we should act a little bit more. I don't want to say professionally, because he always has been a good professional, but he used to give things away at times, and he has not done that since he's been with Gilbert. He's been a lot more into every match that he's played.
Actually, Agassi's only lost 3 matches since the U.S. Open run. And 2 of those 3 matches, Agassi lost his temper and, in fact, lost the match. The only one he lost outright was against Goran Ivanisevic on a very, very quick court in Stockholm on carpet. Then he, at the Frankfurt Masters, he lost to Sampras when he got a bad call. And then in Philly 2 weeks ago, in the semis against the Swede Thomas Enqvist, he also got aggravated, lost his temper, and lost the match.
What about
He's a little aggravated right now, by the way, Fred.
What about the one he lost against Jan Simmerink? That's Brad Gilbert there. He lost against Simmerink when they started with the music in between points and changeovers.
That was before the U.S. Open.
That was before the U.S. Open, and then he went on to win the U.S. Open. But his form was not good that week, and he was aggravated.
Right.
Situation like this, where he's running around the baseline, he's doing some tracking down of shots here, but he has the ability to throw up this shot. Instead of hitting it really hard, Becker goes in, he throws that one up with a lot of topspin, comes across in front of you, and doesn't matter how hard you try to reach out and play that shot, it's just out of reach. So he can keep them low to the net, or he can throw them in to the incoming volleyer with a little bit of topspin that they cannot get to.
Becker was in all kinds of trouble in the first serve game of the set, but he came back from love 40 down and held serve. Now it's love 15 at 1 game all. You were saying, Mary, earlier about the U.S. Open and what a remarkable year that he's had since then, or the remarkable season since then. The fact is that he was unseeded going into the U.S. Open. For a guy to go from an unseeded position to number 2 in the world now. He won the U.S. Open unseeded. In fact, the last guy to do that was the fiery one, Fred Stolle. But in those days, Fred, when was that in 66? There were only 8 seeded players at the Open.
Right. Yep. Agassi had to beat 5 seeds. One of the best ratings that ESPN had in all of 1994 was this match, again at the Lipton. And the reason they played in the 3rd round is because Agassi was unseeded at the Lipton last year. Of course, he got himself to the final before losing to Pete Sampras. And in a very generous gesture, Agassi allowed Sampras an extra hour before the match so he could recover from a stomach problem. He could have taken the win, taken the title, but instead he gave Pete a chance to feel better, and then Pete felt good enough to beat Agassi that day. Agassi, again, generous to the end, said, look, if I can't beat him sick, I don't deserve the title.
Just a reminder that he was coming off wrist surgery at this time last year. He had won in Scottsdale.
His first tournament back,
That was his first tournament back. Yep. 4 aces for Becker.
And his serving percentage has gone up now. Now it's up to 71. Again, for a guy who goes for as big a serve as this man does, that's a very good percentage. That's Becker's second.
Sampras, as you can see, is not that far in front of Agassi now, and he has a lot of points to defend. There is no doubt in my mind that Agassi is going to be able to overtake him, only because Agassi has played so well, as we said, this last tennis season, including the last winter and the early stages of this year.
Sampras is safe at least for the next 2 weeks in the #1 position.
Yeah, but he's still got points, obviously, to defend after that, because he played so well going up to the French last year. And what I'm trying to point out is that no matter how well Pete Sampras plays, if Agassi just plays better than he did last year, which is almost inevitable, he can overtake him.
Sampras knows that, of course. He's pretty much resigned to the fact that, you know, the math is not in his favor for the next several months.
Game point Becker.
That's a one-handed return. Can you believe that? Becker can't. He says, come on, I don't mind the two-fisted backhand going there, but that was a brilliant serve at 104 mile an hour out wide. And look at Agassi. Just shows you how quickly he sees the ball, gets it out early, and just holds that wrist there firm with a one-handed cross-court winner.
Yeah, it shows how strong Agassi has become as well. Muscle that back.
10 backhand winners of the two-hander from Agassi. One of them with a one-hander, excuse me.
Another double. That's what happens with Becker. They come in clusters when he starts double faulting. That's his third. He goes for it, which it can be good and bad. Right now it's bad for him.
Both those he served into the net, though. Normally you find with Becker when that goes up, because he does give the ball a little bit of air when he comes up over the top of that serve. It's a kick second serve that he's going for.
Oh, yeah. 117, his fifth ace.
Beautiful service motion. That one, you can see the good shot of the arm going up and out after the ball, not coming right over the top, just going out, keeping the head of the racket on that ball. Another one, same sort of situation. Boy, he's done well to get out of strike on the serve, because in the opening service game he was down to love 40, 126 miles an hour, that one.
Nick Bollettieri, when he got with Becker as a coach at the beginning of last year, said one of the things they wanted to do was to try to uncomplicate the serve. They have really succeeded in doing that. Another ace from Becker. He holds on barely again. Leading 2 games to 1 in the second set. He lost the first. One breaker serve was all Agassi needed. 6-4 first set to Agassi.
#1 tennis balls, proud sponsor of the 1995 Newsweek Champions Cup, and the Quadrants Corporation introducing its new Wimbledon Conquer tennis racket is proud to be the official racket sponsor of the Newsweek Champions Cup.
Okay. Do I have to lay out or something? Do I have to lay out? Do they say anything? Agassi won the first set 6-4. Becker leading 2-1 on serve. At each tour event in the U.S., the tour charities host and combine to make a $5,000 contribution to the National Junior Tennis League. And there they are. Luke and Murphy Jensen are sportsmen of the week. They were wild and crazy guys.
They had a great week here. Not only were they giving countless clinics for the ATP and for their clothing company, but they also got themselves to the semis of the Dubs here. They were wild cards, and they made a wild ride of it. And in fact, Luke Jensen has been getting wild cards into the singles in the last several weeks, and he's made good use of them with some really good wins. I said to him, "Hey, Lukey, man, you know, your singles is coming on." He said, "Hey, I'm on the 3rd page of the ranking list now."
This is the second time he has won the Sportsman of the Week award.
So that means Luke has jumped up 300 places in the rankings in the last few weeks. We're very happy for our buddy Luke.
Well, I was talking to him as well as far as the doubles. He's trying to get Murphy to come out and put more time in at the office. And he calls the office out here on the court with their new coach. And he said, hey, if you're going to be up there, you've got to start to win matches. You can't just keep getting wild cards into all these events. Otherwise, everybody's starting to get annoyed with you. So he knows that he's got to get his brother out there a bit more.
Semi-final at the Super 9 helps you a lot, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
30 love Agassi.
Agassi, by the way, this is a home match for him. Here, muttering to himself. He's flying home in his plane after every match, every day. Air Agassi. Here we are in California. He flies home to Vegas every night so he can sleep in his own bed. A nice big ace from Agassi, his first of the day. 99 miles an hour. It doesn't have nearly the heat that Becker can generate, but it's well placed. And he's serving at 75%.
Game point, second serve coming up.
Oh, yes. And that is his first double. Agassi also flew back and forth from Las Vegas to the San Jose tournament, an event he won, beating Michael Chang in the final.
Yeah, he likes to play out here on the west coast of the U.S. for that reason.
Glad you can write those fuel expenses off.
Gas. You got to write. Don't you get gas mileage, you know, on your expenses?
Game to Agassi, 2 minutes. Holding on to his serve well. Coach Brad Gilbert was saying when they got together that he'd be serving at 30 love and just roll in the serve, and then he'd be down love 30 and he'd go for an ace, which was exactly the wrong way around. So they worked on kind of changing his strategic ideas on serve, and that has worked.
The desperation has gone out of Agassi's game, not just on those. I mean, not just on serve.
Well, there's a time where we said, hey, if you got to honor Agassi, he didn't have a plan B. That's not the case anymore.
Agassi has been challenging the Becker serve the last couple of games. Oh! Here comes the second serve.
He faced break point in the 3 service games, and he's only lost his serve twice in this tournament. Contrast that with what we've said before today, in that Agassi has broken serve 14 times. 15 all. He's been able to break once so far, and he's awfully close here lately.
That's when Becker was at his best. That was his favorite serve. Breaks it out wide, 102 miles an hour, swings it out wide. It's up the sideline about 6 feet.
How far is he from his best now, Fred?
I don't think he's serving as well as he used to, but I think it has improved in the last 6 months. I think it's tough to be out there for 10 years and win Wimbledon when you're 17 and still continue with the desire. That one's called good. But I think that we could say the same thing about Boris Becker as we said about Agassi, that if there was a time there where we felt that Becker may have lost the desire. In 1995, not so.
8 aces for Becker in the match. And a game point.
Oh.
Okay, he's had a lot of chances, but he's only broken once in the match, and that can get to you. We'll find out if it does.
All right.
Good.
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 Agassi.
Moon. Primetime tennis here on ESPN. Cliff Drysdale, Mary Carrillo next to me, and Fred Stolle up here in the commentary position, watching Becker and Agassi. Becker losing the first set, 6-4. He's ahead 3 games to 2, although he's been in trouble on his serve a lot lately. He has not been broken but once in the match. He has not, on the other hand, had breakpoint chances yet against Andre Agassi. What's at stake here is a chance for Agassi to play against the #1 player in the world, Pete Sampras, and Pete Sampras is trying to hang on to that #1 spot with Agassi breathing down his neck.
That match also best 3 out of 5 sets in the final tomorrow. This is semi-finals 2 out of 3 sets. We talked here about service direction with the players, how they serve to certain spots. And this gives you a much better idea at home. He goes 30% out wide to the forehand, 10% down the middle, and 60% down the tee.
Missed it.
So Agassi not doing anywhere near as much serving out wide as Becker. They're down the tee again. He's trying to serve kick serve, and he's really attacking Becker's backhand so far. He hasn't served any at Becker's body there, but he goes down to the forehand 40% of the time. He serves that kicker out wide, and the reason for that out wide on that backhand side is to open up the court for his forehand to make the winning shot.
Got it. Frustrating playing against Agassi. Anything short and he just punishes it. Some folks whistling in the crowd, but that was a good call.
Yeah, Becker just had a quiet look over there, just a little sneak look at the lines judge. As a surprise shot. Agassi, as we said earlier in this match, if you do it too often, then he's going to get to know this. This is played from the baseline, so Becker's not in a good position. Agassi, one of the quickest players around the court. He knows what he can do when he gets there, and he's there in plenty of time to play that one. You can see Becker caught right there in the middle of the court.
3 games all, second set. New balls, and Becker showing them to Agassi. $125-mile-an-hour first serve.
Agassi's had 1 ace. That's Becker's 9th. Again, they tend to come in bunches, just as do his double faults. Gets into a great rhythm. Or he loses his rhythm. Right now, he's got it.
He's pretty good. There's Becker's discord, where he goes on the discord. Yeah, 55%. He likes that one down to Agassi's backhand, which takes away the angle from the forehand return. that one straight at Agassi, missed Agassi and hit the lines judge. With where Becker's serving to Agassi. Again, he goes down the tee. That's his favourite serve on both sides today. The one right down the middle, 50% of the time, 45% of the time he kicks it out wide to the backhand.
Game point, Becker.
Oh!
Game Becker.
Becker moves on that time easily for the first time in a while. It's 4 games to 3 Becker. Agassi won the first set behind one breaker serve 6-4. There's only been one break today so far.
Tournament Village enjoys sampled products from many of our co-sponsoring manufacturers. Annabelle the Watch, proud sponsor of the 1995 Newsweek Champions Cup. And Clairol, the leader in hair care, is also proud to be with us for the 1995 Newsweek Champions Cup.
Hey, Sarah girl. It looks as though Agassi's, it's a tape show, right? And it looks like we probably won't have to collapse it. I'm thinking, what do you think? I mean, it's hard to know right now. I'm just thinking that it's possible we can do the rivalry piece.
Newsweek Champions Cup from the Coachella Valley. We're in prime time tennis season. College basketball's National Invitation Tournament gets underway Wednesday, and ESPN will have a triple header of first round action beginning at 7:30 p.m. That's 4:30 here on the West Coast. March Madness, all here on ESPN. Agassi serving, trailing 3-4 second set. He won the first. Tell me about how well tennis has started this year after kind of dismal start to last year in some respects. The Australian Open was terrific tennis, and here again his first Super 9 on the IBM ATP Tour, and top 3 players in the world all in the semi-finals.
It's only his second double fault.
Agassi's complaining about this one.
And then calling the center tee ruled that wide for Agassi's second double fault of the match.
Love 30.
Now he thinks he's been hooked. Let's see how he deals with it.
This is about where it happened to Becker in the first set.
Right.
At 4 games all in the first set, Becker was serving. And he had 40-15, got a bad call on the baseline, and he ended up losing the game. And then Agassi served out the set. It's 15-30, second serve Agassi at 3-4 in the second now.
That was way out. That was way out.
But no call, or is there a call?
Now what's Becker complaining about?
Becker's complaining it's an overrule. It's an overrule from Leconto. The line judge did not call it, and it's an overrule from Leconto, so Becker is livid.
Becker's aggravated because he wanted an overrule from Leconto in the same.
That wasn't a double fault. You didn't overrule that in the corner there when nobody can see it. And it didn't overrule the first point. Man, you gotta be fair for both players, all right?
Becker makes a pretty good case because
I agree.
I agree with Boris Becker on this one, and I think even Agassi would agree with it. This is the play that Agassi hit one this far out against Becker, and Danet Locanto did not overrule it. So now Becker hits a shot, and there is an overrule from Locanto. So he thinks that's not fair.
30-all. Game point to Agassi.
And Andre Agassi, he doesn't mind you coming in if it's not too deep. The deeper it is, the better approach, of course. But as soon as he can get himself set like that, he's as confident as anybody and likes that target. Becker was all over the net, but it was just too good a shot.
That is wide. What a difference a line call makes.
Well, Agassi Agassi thought he got robbed on a call. Got down low 30 and then won 4 straight points. Really kept his composure. Becker is going to walk off of this match muttering. And you can't really blame him.
Except that in that first set, he still had 40-30 even after he had got the bad call, but it did end up hurting him. He lost his serve and the set. On serve in the second, only one break in the whole match, and that it happened in the game that we're talking about in the first set at 4 games all. 15 love Becker. Making this one look easy.
Well, Agassi never even moved to track that one down because he knew the reply was very high for Becker. And again, he didn't do much, no pace on it. So Becker cuts down that one with the angle backhand volley.
Boy, this is good serving. Actually, it's really great tennis, isn't it? That's 11 aces from Becker as he leads 5-4 in the second.
He's not going to serve and volley like this. He's not going to serve and volley like this, and it's 5 sets. Be interesting.
Welcome back to the Newsweek Champions Cup, ESPN Tennis Prime Time.
You're watching some primetime tennis here by these players who are really putting on a terrific display. Agassi won the first set 6-4, 5-4. Becker leads now. We go from here to Key Biscayne. That finishes, or at least our coverage does, on the 26th of March, and then on to Monte Carlo and the clay courts of Europe, leading up to the French Championships, which is after the Italian Open in Rome, and then back to the US for Montreal, Cincinnati, and then back to Europe for the indoor season, Antwerp, Paris, and then the final in Frankfurt.
This is what's happened so far in the match. Both players at 69% on serves. Winners there. Becker's hit more winners than Agassi, but he's also hit much less. He made less errors than has Becker.
Super 9 is the major tennis tour outside of the Grand Slams, the Davis Cup, of course, and it's all on ESPN.
Still pretty good tennis, this, because both players have hit more winners than errors. takes more risks. He doesn't have the same margin for error on his shot that Agassi has.
Earlier today, Stefan Edberg, the number 11 seed, losing in a close, beautiful match to Pete Sampras. Sampras waiting for the winner of this one. He's trying to repeat as champion here. Heads up, 15-30, 4-5. Oh, yeah. That's what makes him so compelling to watch. He wears his thoughts on his sleeve and everybody can groan with him.
Yeah, that was a bad miss, wasn't it? That was way out. He must have taken his eye off that one. Big opportunity.
30 all.
14
mile-an-hour Agassi serve.
It's a lot of power for Agassi on that one. Players, the top players just have the ability to pick it up a notch when they're in trouble. Sampras did it in the first semi-final. Approaches that Becker had hit, and then Agassi, look at that, he's got time to take that little step, so he knows that he gets on that front foot leaning into the shot, and he looks around at Gilbert and says, how about that, coach?
Well, our statistics say that he has hit 9 unforced errors in this match. Balanced by a lot of winners.
What's that service percentage you said, huh?
There's the backhand winners. Look at that for Agassi, 14 of them, 5 off the forehand. Now Becker's been serving a lot to the backhand side.
Agassi just asked Gilbert what he thought Becker's first serve percentage is this set. Well, Agassi's is 64%, Becker's is 71. That's a nice healthy percentage, boy.
Got that right. He says 30-11 this game.
Man.
Agassi has still not had a break point against him in the match. 12 aces for Becker in the meantime.
Oh, well, he was sitting on that one. Becker had gone out to the backhand on the last 2 occasions. That one straight down the middle at 108 miles an hour. It wasn't quite where Becker wanted it. Agassi was there. Barely finished his service motion, Becker, before that one came back past him.
Game point. And game to Becker, who had 3 out of 4 first serves in this set. And he doesn't mess about with them. So it's 6-5 Becker in the second set. He lost the first.
Okay, yes, Sarah. Yes, sir. I can hear stuff. Right. I can deal my way in. So why don't I just do the whole RF thing?
Time.
11,500 people are jammed into this tennis stadium here, designed by Charlie Passarell, who is the tournament director here, the grandfather of this tournament, and it has been spectacularly successful. It is far and away the biggest event on the West Coast. Here are your total points, won exactly the same by both players, and it is one of 3 Super 9 tournaments played in the USA. This one, Cincinnati, in the summertime, and the one coming up next, which is the Lipton.
Took a little bit off that serve, Agassi, a 92-mile-an-hour spinner. Becker was a little bit too far out in front of it. Forced the error.
He missed it. 15 all. It puts a bit of pressure on you guys, doesn't it, when your opponent is serving those big bombs and gets 3 out of 4 in a set, like Becker has been successful in doing here. 15 all.
Now that one went from 92 miles an hour on the same side, on the deuce side, to the backhand to 111 miles an hour. So sneaky quick, Agassi, when he needs to be.
It was out. Agassi just showed the mark.
Check in with Dana Leconto. No response. Game point, Agassi.
That was a big backhand just inside the baseline. If Agassi can hit those for winners, then that is just too tough.
Called long and confirmed by Dana Leconto. Second set. Potentially from the set here for Becker.
Well, that was a big risk he took on that forehand, because it was actually played to the backhand side. He ran around it and just thumped it as hard as he could. And on this occasion, it found the sideline.
He got it. Here's the set point for Becker. Terrific return to serve down the middle of the court. Beautifully angled, crisp volley.
This is not a bad shot from Agassi though either. He picks this one up, and Becker charging into the net has to play that one straight at the body. Good firm wrist, good angle, sets up the set point, set number 2.
Deuce.
There's a good serve from Agassi, and he gets it in the half-court area there. He just has no hesitation with anything there. He didn't sort of take anything off that.
No, if he was going to get tight, that last swing was the time.
You just can't do this shot. but Agassi can. Anybody else, that's not quite a half volley. They think it'd come up about 12 inches. Look at this. The ball bounces, comes up, gets around about knee high there, and he's got good. He's bending the knees, staying down low to that one. Never moved the head until it finished. This one he played, tried to keep it short, but it got back a little too far for him. Agassi comes in with the two hands, and there's no pace on that shot of Becker's at all. So Agassi just thumps that one at will for the winner.
That's a dangerous play.
Thank you.
Tie-break tie, first to 7 with a 2-point lead, and there are their tie-break records: 2-1 for Agassi, 5-5 this year so far for Becker.
Agassi saw that one that early that he gets out in front of it. 98 mile an hour second serve, and you're out in front of it, and you try and play the return. That's not bad. That's pretty good eyesight, isn't it?
One to Becker. Agassi will serve 2. Spectacular shot from Becker. Agassi on the baseline. He's quick, and he couldn't get anywhere near that backhand down the line. Clip from Becker. To Becker.
Becker's worked that side over on occasions when he gets that opportunity. The slice backhand. Slice backhand or that driving backhand into the forehand corner has been good for him today.
He has the mini break. He'll serve 2 points with a 2-point-1 lead. Second set tie break, first set to Agassi.
Oh, he missed it.
What a remarkable return from him, because that serve from Becker just clipped the outside edge of the line, and he still was all over it.
Well, when it clips the outside edge of the line, you know it zips off the line. So this is a terrific serve from Becker. And then look at Agassi. Gets there, a little bit of a miss hit. This one jumps up, and Becker just really rifles this one and misses it. You can see how disgusted he is with that shot, because he hit it really too hard. He didn't have to hit it that hard to win it.
2-2 in the tiebreak.
This match would have to do a lot to get past the Sanders Edberg match as far as classy tennis is concerned, and these boys are doing that. Straight at Becker, and Becker there standing his ground, plays the short volley once more. They always play riveting matches against one another.
2-3. Shot from Agassi was about going to hit the line. That's how far Becker had to move to cover it, and he just couldn't make the volley.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of pace on it, but it was in the right spot, wasn't it, Agassi? Look at this. He gets it there. You can see it goes up with a little bit of topspin on it, but it's down the line, and it's very close to the line if Becker was to let it go. Becker, had that been another yard inside that line, Becker would have had a very easy shot. See, he had to stretch down to make that low one there, and he knows that he's let one get away there.
On that last volley, Fred, had he got to it, Agassi was way out of court. So it would have been a clean winning volley and would have put him up in the tiebreak. As it is, it's 3-3.
That's probably one of the loosest backhands he's played in the match so far.
I was going to say, I think that was his worst shot of the set.
Yep.
At least, if not the match. On serve, he's serving here, and Agassi leads 4-3. Steers that one long, and now this whole thing has changed. Agassi, a couple of points away from the place in the final and a shot at Pete Sampras.
One bad backhand ground stroke, one poor backhand volley, and they're in a load of trouble against Agassi. These matches turn on just a point here and a point there.
And Agassi will serve 2. If he wins them both, he'll win the match.
13 aces from Becker, and he's still struggling. 13 aces in 2 sets. Boris Becker cannot believe this.
You're watching number 2 and number 3 player in the world playing for the opportunity to play against the number 1, Pete Sampras, in the final. Best of 5 sets tomorrow. Agassi has match point.
Two fabulous semi-finals over here, and what a dream semi-final that Sunday it's been for the tournament here for Charlie Passerell. Agassi has been playing so well. He's led in break points won, he's led in second serve points won, and he just showed us to go wide. It's the return of serve from Agassi, and then Cliff, don't forget those topspin lobs that really opened it up for him to win that first set. Becker, on the other hand, had his opportunities in the second set, didn't he? And he just fell apart. I wouldn't say fell apart, because he missed a couple of very simple shots in that tiebreaker.
This whole match changed also, didn't it? 4 games all in the first set when Becker got a bad call, and it really hurt his chances. He lost that game and the first set, 1 break, and then the second in a tiebreak. Agassi in the final to play Sampras.